Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vegan Bree. If you're not familiar with me, I post all things vegan and cruelty-free beauty, and today we're going to do like a chatty get ready with me. Might get a little controversial depending on, I don't know, I guess your views or your experiences, and I'm also going to be using products from my shop, my stash, which I filmed. This is going to go up after that, so yeah, we're going to get into it. Okay, so I'm going to use the Sigma Untamed palette. This is my second time using this. I think I'm going to go for a more like, I did kind of like a cool tone look yesterday, and now I want to do the kind of like a maybe like red green. I don't know. We'll see what we get into. We'll see. Okay. Okay. So, and I'll put everything I'm using down in the description box below. I'm also going to use my Epidural palette because the shimmers were not bad in this, but they're a little more subtle than what I'm looking for. I use the Milani eyeshadow primer as always. I use the shade Docile, set my eyes and everything. Okay, so let's try the shade. And I also have my shop, my stash, I have 3 palettes, kind of like 4, but I'm using that more as a highlighter. Epidural palette from Gourmand Girls, Sigma Untamed, and then my Moonspell Volume 1 from Lunar Beauty, which I have in my project pan. I have not been very good about using. Okay, so I'm gonna do a green. I'm gonna use the shade Bonnie. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So, okay, let's get into talking, or else I'm gonna just be running my mouth, which that probably will happen. Okay, so something that's been kind of bothering me, and I don't mean to be a itch, but I did not have I had an epidural with both of my children, which, you know, whatever. But I was very hard on myself when I had when I had my epidural. I was really upset. I did not want to have an epidural both times. I was just like, I felt like a failure, because you see these women that are like, oh my God, you know, no medication, no epidural, look at me. And you think like, oh yeah, that could totally be me. Okay, well, at least for me, when I was pregnant, you know, first time with Aria, I had never had a baby before, so I didn't know what to expect. You can hear enough stories, you can hear as many stories as you want and read as much as you want, but you don't fully know what type of labor you're gonna have until you're actually in it. You don't know how your body's gonna react. You don't know what kind of pain you're gonna be in. You just don't know. Like enough people can tell you too, like, oh, like, you know, it's gonna be like this. Okay, but like, you don't know how long. Also, big thing, you don't know how long you're gonna be in labor for. I had no idea. I went into labor with Aria at 40 weeks one day at 2 a.m. in the morning. Literally, I felt like a small contraction. And I never had Braxton Hicks of her, whereas with Liv, I had Braxton Hicks a lot. And so I didn't know what to expect. I was like, oh, we did a class too. My ex-husband and I did like a birthing class. I practiced. We did like, you know, I think it's called a raton, lifting my belly, all these things. I had a playlist. I put a lot of effort into in time. And I sat in the bathtub for 2 hours, all that kind of stuff. I tried to relax. I did breathing techniques, the whole 9 yards. Like, and it did not work at all for me. I have told you guys before, I have pelvic floor dysfunction disorder. I'm in kind of like remission for it. Like, I haven't really had as much pain, nowhere near, not even every single day, not even like every single month, not even every single year, as I did before. So, and I've also been assaulted twice. So my body does not relax, especially my pelvic area does not relax. So when I'm in labor, and this has happened 2 times now, I just don't relax. I tense up. Even if I try to relax, I tried everything both times, everything, and it just didn't work. Even I did felt somewhat relaxed, which is so weird to say while in labor. It didn't work. I did not progress, nothing. I stalled both times, and guess what? As soon as I had that epidural, boom, we were going. So I feel like such a bitch saying this, but okay. And then we're gonna use a shade from the Sigma palette. Or actually, no, we're gonna use, let's use, you're almost like the same shade, kind of like Feral and Rebel. You know what? We're gonna use Feral because I have 2 kitty cats. Okay, so, and they're not feral, but anyway. So, I've been seeing some people post, like, it's clickbaity, but like, oh, I had an unmedicated birth, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know, I felt like absolute crap when I had my epidural, by the way. I felt like I tapped out. I was a failure. And I even, both times, especially the first time, I was just like, why can't I do this? Why am I not progressing? Why is this happening to me? Like, I just felt very out of control, which the thing about being in labor is you are out of control. Like, it's not in your control at all. Nothing's in your, you don't, like that, you don't know how it's gonna go. Like, my mother-in-law, for example, with my now husband, that's so weird to say, my now husband, his mom has had two sons, and both of them she had within, like, I think her labor was like 4 hours, and she did not have time to have an epidural. And then with my brother-in-law, she also did not have time to get an epidural. He was like, literally, she went to the doctor and he was like, oh my God. And my father-in-law had to have the hazards on because they were rushing. And my husband was 5. He didn't even have his shoes on. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna use a shade. Let's do Rebel. Okay, so anyway, I bawled too. With Aria, I was like, okay, give me 1 more hour and then we'll see how I'm doing, okay? And I didn't progress. Like, after all that, being in the tub for 2 hours. And by the way, I had like very light contractions that entire day. I was like, okay, what is going on here? Like, I kept thinking too, like, oh my God, I bet I progressed. Because then when it started getting painful too, because it's the doctor, I called the doctor and she's like, I'm like, okay, so I've been in like labor like all day. So I've been having like contractions all day. Like, when does it start to hurt? Because I felt the tightness of your belly and it wasn't going away. And it was like every 5 minutes, every this, like, it wasn't like Braxton Hicks where like it goes away. She was like, oh no, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse, honey. Don't you, you're gonna know, honey. As soon as she said that, it started getting really painful. And by the way, my ex-husband, when I went into labor, I had my first contraction. He was like, oh, just sleep it off. Okay, I don't know who sleeps during labor before you have a epidural. And even then, I don't know who sleeps during labor. I can't. Like, both times, I could not sleep at all. Before and after epidural. I was like, there's too much going on. I'm about to have a kid. Like, I don't know, biggest event of my life. Like, I was like, I cannot sleep. My adrenaline is like, you know, I just cannot sleep. I was too excited. I was too like, oh my God. So yeah, I have issues with relaxing. So I just keep seeing like the people being like, oh, like, look at me. I did it. Like, look, I mean, I think it's a lot of pressure on people, because then when you don't see a lot of people be like, oh my, like in their thumbnail, like, oh my God, I had an epidural. Like, look at me. Like, wow. It's like people who don't breastfeed, which I did breastfeed, but it's like they're also looked down upon. Or like, oh, you didn't breastfeed long enough. Oh, you breastfed too long. Oh, like, I didn't do that. Oh, like, it's this whole thing. Like, you just can't win. But I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like, at least for my experience, I feel like people who didn't, like a lot of people on YouTube, like my mother-in-law's not like this, by the way. She actually wanted an epidural, but they were like, honey, we don't have time. Like, you need to push. So, but a lot of people, like I said, I wanted to go all natural, and it just wasn't gonna happen. Like, both times, none of the nurses told me. They were just like, okay, if you want an epidural, let me know. And I actually asked flat out for my birth with Liv. I was like, do you think I'm gonna be able to do it? And she was like, you want my honest opinion, or do you want me to? I was like, yes, give it to me straight. And she said, you're not relaxing. This is not happening. You're gonna be in labor way longer. And this is just not, I don't think this is going to happen. Like, you're tensing up, it's just not going to happen. So, yeah. And I personally think also we need to stop scaring people, because I was scared. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have back problems, which is a possibility when you have an epidural. That's a possibility when you have a baby. I'm sorry. Like, this is just ridiculous. Also, oh, you're going to tear more. Okay. With my first, I tore to a 2, and then, which I think is the average. And then my second, I barely tore it all up. I think she did a couple stitches, like, so I don't think that's true at all. I felt perfectly fine, actually, like, pushing. I was able to push fine. So I don't understand this crap. They're like, oh my God, if you have an epidural, it's like the kiss of death. Okay, I don't think, by the way, if it was this horrible thing, it would not be an option, okay? I don't think it would be an option. And when I think of too, like, also, hello, people were dying not so long ago when they had kids, like. So, and what about people who have C-sections? Like, they have to have a spinal tap. So, is that, like, evil? Like, I was a C-section kid, and my mom's fine. So, you know, and also my mom was stalling, too. Like, she stalled at, I think, a 6, and she had an epidural. But it's like, I don't think this, I'm tired of this whole, especially pressure on women, by the way. There's so much pressure to be a mom. You're doing it wrong. You're not doing this. You're doing this. You're not doing this. It's like so much crap. I'm so sick of it. Just being honest. Like, I'm just tired of like the negativity. Like, I know this is not a happy, positive video, but I'm just, it makes me feel annoyed when I see that too. Like, oh my God, people are like, oh, I'm going to have another home birth or like whatever. And I'm like, okay, nothing wrong with going to the hospital. Like, I'm glad that Kristen Leanne did her video. So I know she wanted a all-natural birth, and that's great if you want that. Like, that, I tried my very damnedest, okay? I tried my best. I went without an epidural for a really long time, but you know what? When something's not working, it's not working. And you can't keep doing the same thing if it's not working, okay? I didn't have an epidural. It was not working. I was not progressing. I was, like, I don't personally think that, why do you get a medal if you don't have an epidural? Like, you get a prize? Like, I don't understand what this whole thing is about. Like, oh, I didn't have an epidural, like, and you deserve a trophy. You can post about it on the internet, because I'm not posting over here like going like, hey, I had an epidural, like, look at me. Oh my God, you didn't? What is wrong with you? Why didn't you have an epidural? Or I had a couple hour labor. I'm like, okay, so my first baby, I was in labor for 29 hours. It wasn't painful the entire time. That's not what I'm trying to say, but still, it was a lot. And then my second, Liv, I was in labor for, I think, like 19 hours, okay? And I was in pain so I got induced of her. I had a really hard time with my second pregnancy. I was on bed rest for a really long time. I actually asked her, okay, and I had Braxton Hicks, which like kept thinking like, oh, I'm going in labor. No, I'm not going in labor. And we had a couple nights where I'm like, I feel like I'm going in labor. It's progressing. It's doing this. No, it was just like, it was so stressful. I felt like crap again when I had an epidural. I was like, and my husband was great. Like, he was amazing. I wanted to get that out there because I'm just like, I don't know what the deal is with, you know, people are afraid to, at least me, I was like afraid to say I had an epidural because I'm like, oh my God, like, what if I, you know, I don't know. I'm just tired of the judgment. There's judgment of everything. Doesn't matter what you do, what you say, everything's wrong apparently. Like, nothing is right. It's just annoying. Like, I feel like sometimes we're going back in time, personally. Forward/rewind. But I've just been kind of annoyed with that. So I wanted to bring that up. Okay. Woo! That was a little heated. Okay. So I just used my NYX glitter primer. And then, what else do I want to talk about? I'm in this clearance process for a job right now. So this has been kind of stressful. I'm in a weird feeling too, like being unemployed. I thought it would be, last time I was unemployed, it was depressing. But then again, I was like breastfeeding and I wasn't on medications and stuff. So it was really hard. This time around, like, we haven't pulled the kids out of school, not yet at least, because this process, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get this job. It's just going through the clearance process. It takes a while. Okay, so what do I want to use? I want to use like, okay, we're gonna try Envy and see how it does. I'm most likely probably gonna put like a Epidural on top, and I really like Astrid, so we might do that too. Okay, I really like this palette in general. It's really good. Okay, I'm gonna use my finger because when I used the brush last time, it's interesting though. Like, when I used the brush yesterday, it was not the best. Like that again. Okay, this one's a little better. I like more intense shimmers. And the purple was just not intense, fierce. So I put a shade from the Epidural palette on top, and I liked it a lot better. Some of this at TJ Maxx, actually. Okay, that looks cool. We're doing like a fall look today. I wanted to kind of do something grungy. I don't know. I love green eyeshadow. I know it's not my favorite color. Blue, like turquoise is my favorite color. Sorry I got into that, but it was on my mind and I wanted to get out there. I know some people have to be thinking about it. It's not just me, okay? What is with these high-end brands? Like, I feel like a lot of high-end brands are like kind of overrated. I personally think like indie makeup, I'm sorry, kill it with eyeshadows. Kill it. And like the most creative, the smallest amount of funding, but like best packaging, seriously, way more creative, better quality, better eyeshadows, sometimes better customer service, and they actually care, at least in my opinion, they seem to care. I'm gonna use a shade, let's try Spirit too. Looks pretty. Wow. No, it's not. I mean, it's pretty, but it's not giving it to me. Not giving it to me. Let's do Astrid. She's so pretty. I think it might be my favorite shade in this palette. Oh my god. It has a lot of dimension to it, and it looks different when you pay, like, it looks different every time I wear it, depending on the mattes that you pair it with. Oh my god. Like, see the difference? Yeah, I've been feeling like a lot better. I definitely have my days. I feel like that's kind of how it is with depression. So yeah, it's just kind of how it is. Unfortunately, depression is like, even on meds, you have like your good days and then your bad days. It's just kind of like, I don't know. For me, I kind of get in a funk, but definitely my kids, my husband, my family, my animals really help distract me. I'm almost 30, turning 30 on the 23rd, which is the day the Nomad Cosmetics palette also launches, which I'm beyond excited about. So far, we have some, it looks, I am thinking it's gonna be like an Amazonian palette. I have seen some, so far she's released that there's some pinks, a little bit of red, like bright red, bright pink, and some greens. I'm seeing like neons, but yeah, I'm going with like a Amazonian, like safari kind of palette. Or like rainforest palette, something like that, which I am very excited about. I don't know how I'm gonna do neutral looks. Well, okay, just because I'm gonna be going to the office and be doing like a serious job, I'm still gonna wear some color. We're just gonna tone it down a little bit, you know? Maybe different take on my channel. I'm trying to, I don't know, try something different, because whatever I'm doing is not really working on here. I get a lot of views when it comes to like shorts and everything, but like full-length videos, even though it's therapeutic for me. I want to have a little community with you guys, you know, and not just have people subscribe to me. That, I mean, if you want to watch my shorts, great. I really like doing them. They're fun. I love doing reels and TikToks and stuff. I think on TikTok, so I'm kind of doing like a fitness journey. I worked out today. I worked out 2 days ago. I'm trying to work out every other day, which for me is really hard because I really don't like working out. I get so bored, especially my ADHD, but I'm working on the Peloton. It really helps keep me motivated and focused, because I have music. It's almost like having like a coach there with you, which I really like, because I just get very bored easily. So with makeup, it keeps me focused. Sometimes I just get lost doing my makeup and like blending and everything. I can't be the only one. Something also I have learned as a mom, it's just something for me, which I don't know if anyone's like this, but to become a parent. But I felt like when I had Aria, I kind of lost myself. I didn't really know who I was. I just wasn't doing a lot for myself. And also my marriage was kind of crappy. Not trying to be rude, but it was just not a good place. So I'm gonna finish my face and then we'll come back to the eyes, because the face, like, whatever. Hey, I look a little different. If you want to know what I'm wearing, everything will be in the description box below, or a pinned comment, as well as it's in my shop, my stash. So yeah, let's get into the eyes again. I'm trying to debate if I should use Be Simple. It's okay to be simple, says Brianna Never. Well, when it comes to my makeup, I feel like this is the only version of me being creative. Okay. So Feral first. All right. So yeah, I told you guys I'm turning 30. Don't really know how I feel about it. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like, I've heard that your 30s, you're supposed to be wiser, blah, blah, blah. My 20s have just been a lot. Definitely learned a lot. I don't know. I'm always very hard on myself. Anxiety sucks. Okay, then we're gonna use the shade Spirit. Let's see if this is light enough for a highlight. I don't know. It's not really, these shimmers, I'm sorry, they're just not doing it for me. Okay. I'm gonna use, let's do, make you light. I'm gonna do shade Dream in the Epidural palette. It's pretty. Okay. So yeah, I don't really know how to feel about it. I'm gonna do a video on 30 things I've learned in 30 years. So let me know, do you guys like these kind of videos where I just like go all ADHD ranty and like chitty chatter? Or you guys want me to talk about like certain topics like I did in the beginning and then I didn't know what to talk about. I think I'm gonna do a whole, I wanted to talk about 90 Day Fiance, but I don't know what happened. But let me know if you guys want me to do that with a different show. I like true crime mostly, but I can pretty much watch most things. So let me know if you guys want me to like talk about shows or like mental health, me, things I've been through. I haven't been through like everything, but I've been through some stuffs. Finish my look. Let me put some mascara on, lips, and then we'll be done. All right, my look is finished. What do you guys think? I guess I could blend a little bit more there. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta stop. Okay, so that is my look today. It looks, I think it looks fine. I won't wear color, but I'm like, okay, I have back to school night tonight for the kids, and I already have like a smoky eye on. Don't really care. I could wear like neon pink, and I really don't care. But anyway, I'm kind of trying to play with neutral-ish looks. So before I go randomly, because you know I will do that, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know any suggestions, any products that you're loving, anything that you want me to try, a review, or any questions. I'm pretty much an open book, okay? Very blunt, open book. And thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.